nosso próximo convidado é o Derek. Eu vou apresentar ele em português primeiro. Hello, Derek. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. So I'm just gonna introduce you for a brief minute in Portuguese, if you don't mind.
Not at all. Go ahead, for sure.
Ok. So, então, o Derek, ele é representante da University of Fraser Valley. Ele já foi estudante, então se vocês quiserem perguntar dúvidas a respeito tanto do aspecto dele como representante ou como estudante, é legal porque ele tem esses dois aspectos. E ele vai falar um pouco sobre estudar na costa oeste do Canadá, na University of Fraser Valley. Ele vai falar um pouco sobre os programas de graduação com foco na carreira e vai falar um pouco da UFV, que é uma universidade pós-secundária pública localizada fora de Vancouver, no Canadá, com programas de 2 ou 4 anos. So, Derek, I just told you about your experience as a student and as a representative for University of Fraser Valley. If you want to introduce yourself for a brief minute too, and then talk about the university.
Yeah, definitely. I'd be happy to do that. Thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you very much for having us here. Hello, everybody. I hope you're having a great fair right now. Thank you so much for coming out to the webinar right now. As you heard, my name is Derek Wardhall, and I'm the Regional Manager for International Student Recruitment at the University of the Fraser Valley. But as you also just heard, more importantly, I am an alumni from the school. I did my bachelor's degree in business administration at the university. It was just a couple years ago that I did that. But a lot of the stuff that I talk about is going to come from a student's perspective. I sat in those classes, I took those tests, I did the clubs, I went to the sports fields and games. A lot of the stuff I talk about comes from my own perspective as a student. With that, let me share my screen here for you and get started here. Let's see what we do. All right, there we go. Perfect. Awesome. So welcome everybody again to my presentation for the University of the Fraser Valley. Before I go too in depth, let me give you a quick overview about the university. So UFV, we are a public post-secondary located just outside of beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. The city that we are in is called Abbotsford. Don't worry if you're not sure where that is in Canada. My next couple slides, I'm going to give you a little bit of a geography lesson. So don't worry, I'll show you exactly where we are. At UFV, we are known for our smaller class sizes and a lot of hands-on career-focused education. So as you see on the screen there, our average class size is only 25 students per class. So we really want to make sure that you have as much one-on-one faculty support as possible. And then I said it's a lot of hands-on career-focused education. So in the classroom, you're going to be doing a lot of projects, presentations, case studies, laboratory work, things that are going to develop your real-world skills that will be fantastic when you go apply for your job after you graduate. UFV, we're a medium-sized school for Canada. We have about 14,000 students with a 20% international student body rate, and they come from all over the world. We have students from Latin America, Asia, Europe, Africa. It really is this vibrant, dynamic student atmosphere that we have on campus. Now, I mentioned I was going to give you a little bit of a geography lesson. So here we are. This is Canada. It's really big. It's second largest country by landmass. And where we are is located in British Columbia, which is the westernmost province in Canada. Now, if I zoom in even more into this little map, I can give you a lot more detail about our location. So I mentioned that our campus location is in the city of Abbotsford. Now, this is located about a 1-hour drive outside of downtown Vancouver. For those of you who have never been to Vancouver, it is honestly one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It has the best combination of nature and major city that I have seen almost anywhere. And I've been very lucky to travel pretty much everywhere in the world. So as I mentioned, we're only about a 1-hour drive just outside of Vancouver, which is great for you because being a little bit outside of the city just reduces the cost of living. It makes rent a little bit cheaper than if you were right in the downtown core. But with that said, we're only 1 hour away. So it's really easy for you to go into the Vancouver on the weekends, on your days off, to experience one of the best cities in Canada. Now, on top of being very close to Vancouver, you'll notice this dark shaded area on the map there. That's actually the United States. Our campus, and I really mean this is a real stat, we are only about a 3-minute drive away from the United States border. We are right there, and it's only about a 2.5-hour drive down to, say, Seattle, about another 2 hours after that to Portland. So if you're interested in living in Canada but having a chance to explore the United States, our campus is perfectly located to do that. So you can experience the best of both Canada and the US while you study with us. Now, one of the questions I get asked all the time is about transportation. If you're going to be studying with us, how are you going to get around? How easy is it to get on and off campus? Well, we try to make that as easy as possible for you. All of our students actually get a free bus pass on the city transit system. So just using your student ID card, you can swipe on to all the public buses in the city and be able to move on and off campus, be able to get around the city to the malls, the shopping centers, wherever it is you want to go. It's really easy for you to move around the city with that free bus pass. We also have a fantastic residence building on campus. So if you are interested in living right on campus, and make your commute to your classrooms that much easier, there's nothing better than living in our residence buildings. When you live in the residence building, you do get your very own private bedroom. So you don't have to share a bedroom with anybody. You just have to share an apartment suite with one other person. So all of our residence suites look the exact same. We have 2 private bedrooms in each suite, and then each person also just has to share the bathroom that has a stand-up shower and a little bit of a kitchen area as well. So fantastic place to live. Again, private bedroom, only sharing an apartment suite with one other person. Also, if you like to cook, the great news is all of our residence building floors on each floor have full kitchens. So you can do all of your own shopping, all of your own cooking right in the residence building as well. You don't have to buy a meal plan if you don't want to. So this is a great way, again, to save costs, is by actually doing all your own cooking, all your own shopping that way to reduce the cost of food. But as we know, there are a lot of students out there who don't like to cook or just don't know how to cook. So for those students, of course, yes, we still have a meal plan. We're not going to let you, not have one if you don't want one. And a meal plan is fantastic. And it is an additional charge just because it is optional. And we have some awesome options at our cafeteria for the meal plan students. We also have lots of other food options on campus for students. We have Fairgrounds, which is a student-run coffee shop. That's kind of our version of like a Starbucks if you want some fancier drinks. We also have different restaurants on campus like Streets, which does some like tacos, quesadillas, more there. We have Rebel Pizza, which is a pizza place. And then, of course, we have the iconic and Canadian Tim Hortons. Because in Canada, you can't be a public post-secondary and not have a Tim Hortons on your campus. Pretty sure somewhere in the Canadian Constitution, it says we're supposed to have a Tim Hortons. For those of you who don't know what Tim Hortons is, I promise you, when you get to Canada, you will, because they're everywhere. So yeah, lots of different food options for you, lots of different coffee options for you as well. So you're never going to get bored for trying to find different places to eat while you're on campus. When you're here as well, we really want to make sure that we can take care of as much of your life as possible to be able to aid you in your educational journey. So we've built up these fantastic support services that cover a lot of different ranges of topics for you. For instance, your academics. We have a great team of international academic advisors who are here to help you course plan, register in your courses, answer anything about requirements, moving on to other programs, things of that nature. We also have a wonderful academic success center. Now, what that is, it's free peer tutoring. So if you're interested in getting a little bit of help with your studies, Regardless if it's English, math, business, psychology, biology, whatever it is, we have free tutoring help at the Academic Success Center. We also have an amazing student orientation team. If you're not familiar with this orientation team, they are the rah, 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 welcome to UFV team. They're the cheerleader squad who's going to welcome you onto campus and make sure that you get settled, you get to meet some people, make some connections and friendships as soon as you get here, and just let your journey start on a really smooth note when you come into campus. And of course, one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people come into Canada and come to the university is so that they can eventually move on, graduate, and get a fantastic job. So for that, we have excellent career services on campus. We have a dedicated career center for our students who can help you in a lot of different ways. If you're interested in a formal co-op, which is a paid internship in your field of study, we have staff members who are here to be able to help you with placements, answer questions about how to do co-op, when to do co-op, where to do co-op, and everything in that area. Now, before I move on, I will say one more thing about co-op in the paid internships. I say this at every single presentation, and so I'm going to say it again to you, word for word. I say it in the exact same way. If you come to my school, great, that's awesome. We would love to have you, and we can do some great things for you. If you end up going to a different school around the world, hey, fair enough. I wish you all the best on your educational journey. But here you go. Whatever school you go to, my school, different school, whatever school, if the program you take has a co-op option, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it. Honestly, doing a co-op while you're a student is probably one of the best things any student can do to try to get a future job after you graduate. I really believe that. I've seen it work so many times for international students, for Canadian students. Co-op is one of the most beneficial things you could possibly do during your degree. So if you have a chance to do co-op, one more time, do it. Now, in Canada, if you also just want to work part-time during your degree, you can do that as well. All international students in Canada can work up to 20 hours a week during the school year and up to 40 hours a week during their summer break. We have a fantastic digital job posting board for our students to post both on-campus and off-campus job opportunities. So not going to be too much of a struggle to be able to find a job either on or off campus. We also have a great team here to be able to help you with resume writing, cover letter writing, interview skill training. So if you need someone to take a look at your resume to see if the resume you're about to submit will be a good match for the job description that you're going to apply for, the team here can help you out with that as well. And then also as a public post-secondary, if you want to be able to work after you graduate in Canada, all of our programs do qualify for up to a 3-year post-graduation work permit. So after you finish, you can work in Canada after you graduate as well. Now, of course, coming to a Canadian university, it can't all just be about studying and working. We want to make sure you have some fun too. So for that, we have lots of campus life options for you. As you can see on the screen, we have about 65 different clubs and associations and lots of sports teams for you to come out and cheer them on. So we have about 14 varsity sports teams that play at the highest Canadian university sports level. Those sports teams are men's and women's basketball, volleyball, soccer, golf, wrestling, and rowing. We also have a men's baseball team and a women's rugby sevens team as well. So if you're interested in sports and you like that type of stuff, come on out, cheer them on. There's a lot of energy. It's a lot of fun when we have a lot of students on the sidelines cheering on our sports teams. Now, if you're watching this and you're interested in potentially being on a team and actually, playing on the varsity sports team, well, I have no idea how to do that. They don't tell me. No, I'm just joking. There are tryouts you'd have to do. It is a competitive selection process. So if you are interested in that, come let me know and I can get you in touch with the sports teams. And if you just want to have fun in between classes and playing sports, we do have drop-in sports times, drop-in basketball, drop-in badminton, drop-in yoga classes, Pilates classes, spin classes. We have a weight room. So lots of ways for you to stay fit and have fun on campus. Now, moving on to the programs. at UFV, we are primarily an undergraduate university. So we have, as you see there, 100 different programs. And out of those 100 different programs, we have about 98% of them at the undergraduate level. A couple master's degrees, as you can see there, but primarily undergraduate programs, either 2-year diplomas or 4-year bachelor's degrees. So for the rest of these slides, I'm only going to be talking about our undergraduate programs. And first up, we actually have my former program, the School of Business. Here we either have a 2-year business administration diploma option or a 4-year bachelor's degree. Students who do a 4-year bachelor's degree can choose from one of the majors and minors that you see on the screen there: marketing, finance, international business, HR, which I took as well. Those are the majors and minors. If you do the 2-year diploma, it is a general business diploma. But if you do start in the 2-year business diploma and eventually think you want to do a major or you want to do one of those specializations, you can finish the 2-year diploma and then move up into year 3 directly for the degree and go into one of those specializations as well. As I mentioned about the co-op, again, do co-op. Our business program probably has one of the biggest co-op selections in the school, in the university. So great opportunity to get some hands-on work experience while you're there. Next, we have the applied sciences. So this would be the Bachelor of Science with majors in biology, chemistry, physics, computer science, geography, math, and stats. Then we have a separate Bachelor of Agricultural Science or a 2-year agriculture technology diploma. And then finally, we have a Bachelor of Kinesiology, which is sports science there. Now, I am very proud to say that at UFV, we have one of the most laboratory-intensive science programs. And what I mean by laboratory-intensive science programs is that right from your very first month on campus, literally your first month on campus, you are actually going to get a chance to go into the lab and do some hands-on experiments, hands-on projects that tie into the theory that you learned in the classroom. So if you're going to be doing a science program, whichever science program it is, every single week for each of your courses, you're going to be in class twice, once for the lecture and then once for the lab. So all the time you get to learn the theory in the lecture, and then you get to do the hands-on practical work in the lab. So you'll lecture lab, lecture lab, lecture lab for your entire 4-year degree. We also have students who, if you are interested in, say, research and following a passion of yours within it, whether it's biology, computer science, or kinesiology, there are potential times you can do your own undergraduate research starting in your very first year. So it is a fantastic opportunity to be able to get really this immersive laboratory and experience during your degree. One last thing I will mention about the science program is that within some of these programs, there are actually more concentrations. So what I mean by that is, for instance, in computer science, in there, we have 3 different concentrations you can choose from in your 3rd and 4th year. We have areas in artificial intelligence, data mining, cybersecurity, or programming languages there. Biology, we have concentrations in pre-medicine, pre-veterinary, genetics, or ecology. Kinesiology, sports science, we have areas in exercise science. We also have areas in pedagogy and areas in active life health as well. So even within those topics, there's more specializations that you can do to round out your education. Moving on, we have the social sciences and the humanities. So here we have things like psychology, sociology, anthropology, criminology, all of those ologies kind of rolled in there for you as well. Also have a great criminal justice program, an economics program, and political science. So if you're interested in a very flexible program, I would recommend the Bachelor of Arts because within the Bachelor of Arts, you can combine a major and minor from a couple different areas all across the university. For instance, you could do a psychology major with a biology minor. You could do an economics major with a business minor. So it really gives you a good option to be able to combine study passions or subject passions from different areas across the university. We also offer co-op for the liberal arts programs. Not every school has co-op for the arts. Sometimes it's more of a business and STEM side, but our faculty members, our deans really wanted to make sure that our students, our art students have access to co-op just like every other student on campus as well. So great opportunities to get work experience in the arts. Moving on, we have a program that I love to talk about, but I am personally not good at. That is the creative arts. There's a reason I went into business. But yeah, this is probably one of our fastest growing programs through the last year and a half through the pandemic. I've seen more applications coming in for our graphic design, either diploma or degree, as well as media arts and visual arts, which is fantastic. Where we are, just outside of Vancouver, Vancouver itself has a huge media film, television, game design, arts and design scene. So there's really cool opportunities right now, growing opportunities in the Vancouver area. All of our graphic design, media arts, visual arts programs, they do require a portfolio. So if you are interested in applying for one of our creative arts programs, you do need to submit about 10 to 15 different pieces of artwork for our admissions team to be able to assess before you're admitted into the program. So if you are interested in applying, come let me know, because I can give you a very detailed outline about what is required for that portfolio. Moving on, we have the professional studies. This is my last program slide here for you. Under professional studies, we have areas like IT, computer information systems. So notice that we do separate our IT program from the computer science program. They can be very closely related, but we do have separate degrees in there as well. Below that, we have what I like to call probably the most unique program that we offer, which is aviation, but more specifically, it's pilot training, commercial pilot training, combined with our business program. So if you do the commercial pilot training program, you get all of your piloting licenses and either a business diploma or a business degree at the same time. So you can fly and learn how to manage an airline all during one program. And finally, below that, we have what's called our human services programs. Community support worker, social work, adult education, child and youth care, early childhood education. So all of those human services programs, again, either 2-year or 4-year degrees in those areas. Now, basic entrance requirements, we'll talk about this. I'm not going to go into detail for every single requirement because we would be here forever, but I'll give you a good general understanding of what we're looking for. We separate our entrance requirements into 2 ways. We have our English requirement, and then we have the program requirement. So the English requirement for all of our programs, whether it's a diploma or a degree, can be satisfied with an IELTS score of 6.5 with no band less than 6. We also accept other tests. We accept Duolingo, score of 110. We accept TOEFL, IBT, score of 88. So lots of different tests you can do in there. I use IELTS just as a general example. But one of the other benefits of doing the IELTS test is potentially applying for your study permit, your visa. The Canadian government has just recently announced over the last couple of months that they have opened up the SDS fast track visa process for Brazilian students. And what that means is if you qualify for this fast track visa, and an IELTS score, an IELTS test score is one of the qualifications, you could get a faster processing time within your study permit there too. So another really great reason of why you should take the IELTS test there too. So other than the English requirement, we're then going to look at the program requirement, typically based off your high school results. Some programs require math, some don't. Some programs require sciences, some don't. As you can see on the screen there, each program has a slightly different mix of what we're looking for in your high school results. Typically in terms of average grades, that kind of thing, we usually need anywhere from a 70 to about a 70% average for entrance into our programs. Now, one last thing I'll mention about the English requirement is if you don't fully meet the English requirement, that can be okay too. We can potentially offer some English upgrading depending on what level of English score you end at there too. So if you don't get it at IELTS 6.5, don't sweat it. We can still possibly give you a pathway option into the program. So important dates and deadlines, when should you start applying? Well, right now, we have already started accepting applications for next September. So October 1st, applications had opened up for September 2022, and those are going to stay open until April 15th. I also normally recommend getting your application in early because that can help out for scholarship. As you see, we have scholarship deadlines for when you want to apply, but the earlier you apply, the better chance of getting one of those scholarships. And what are those scholarships? Well, you have to wait. You have to wait for a little bit. That's coming up about the scholarships. But before we talk about the free money, the scholarships, let's talk about overall costs and fees. Well, I'm very happy to say that at the University of Fraser Valley, we have one of the most affordable tuition rates for a university across Canada. Per year of study, it's going to start at a minimum of just over 15,000 Canadian per year. That's going to be for what's called 24 credits, roughly about 4 classes per semester, is. If you want to do extra credits and move it up to 30 credits per year, that'll go up to about 19,000 Canadian per year. So anywhere from 15,000 to 19,000 Canadian per year of study is what it'll cost. When you add in all the other books, supplies, accommodation, living on residence, living expenses, we normally say to budget around $30,000 to $33,000 per year for tuition and living expenses. But as I mentioned, we do have some fantastic scholarships. The biggest one that we offer is $20,000, and that is a total scholarship, total amount. How we give that out, it's a $5,000 renewable scholarship. So if you're doing a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Business and you win the $20,000 scholarship, you would get $5,000 per year over the course of those 4 years as well. These scholarships are all based off academics. So we just look at your scores, your high school grades when we submit there, and then hand out these scholarships accordingly based off those grades. And then my very last slide that I have for you here is just a quick survey that we did of our alumni, people like myself who have graduated from the university, and we asked them, what did you think? Did you find the courses useful? Would you recommend other people come to the university? And as you can see on the screen, we got fantastic results in terms of satisfaction survey for our alumni. So hopefully one of these days I'll be able to welcome you onto campus, welcome you to the university, and one day we can put that little nice hood and regalia on you, and you can cross the stage as one of our alumni as well. So with that, thank you very much. Really do appreciate the time to be able to do this and share a little bit about UFV. Thank you.
Perfect, Derek. It was really informative. We have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Lorena asked if there are any clubs or societies for international students. And if there are, do they have a large representation of foreign students?
Good question. Typically, it depends on the club. We do have a fantastic team in our international office that does activities all the time within clubs and associations. We have it's basically an intercultural friendship group club. And so that is all good mix of international students from across. Other than that, depends on the club and the association. So each department typically has their own student association. So business has what's called BASA, the Business Administration Student Association. The psychology program has a student association. The biology program has a student association. So there's always a good mix of students in there because there's a great mix of international students in there. So it just depends on what club. But yeah, absolutely a good mix of international and Canadian students in pretty much all the clubs.
Great. Gabriela also asked if how are studies for foreigners who have an average English? Do you guys provide any help to improve the English?
Yeah, so if you need a lot of English training, we also have partnerships with other English language schools in the area. So there are potentially ways that we can start you off in a fantastic language school to upgrade your English a little bit as a pathway into the university program.
Perfect. I think that was it. Thank you, Derek, again for your presence. It was really great.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for being a great host and for introducing me and asking those questions. Really appreciate it. You're doing a great job. Thank you.
Thank you.